Season 2, Episode 9. The After Show is back. My name is Declan, Decky Matchmaker, one of the producers of the show, of course. And last night, wow, insane. Lots of new spice and a ton of energy. Getting the report back here, we sold out of headphones again, 169, a new attendance record. We continue to grand slam our attendance record. Also, just like, I got to talk to the team about this, but like what's going on with selling out headphones again, maybe get 300 headphones there and shouldn't have that problem. Maybe there's a headphone shortage. I don't know. There shouldn't be, though, when it comes to the date night podcast. Lots to unpack. We're going to take callers. We're going to have Ellie call in. We're going to have one of the contestants, obviously. She flew in for the episode. Fantastic. We'll have Riley. We will have our secret crowd fourth contestant, Jewell, call in, talk about her, what she pulled off first time in history, being the first fourth contestant. Sorry, I shouldn't say first, fourth. Being the fourth contestant pulled from the crowd, the first time it's ever happened. And she stole the show. Stole Riley's heart in the meaning, or in the process, I should say. Oh, I can't get my words right today. Damn it. Get your words right. But, man, we are excited, though, to be here. We are very excited. And I just can't believe it. We had a plan. Andrew and I had talked on Monday, and we had a couple ideas in the looming. And with the Old People episode going on next week, hosted by myself, first time hosting next week, pretty frightened for that. I'm pretty terrified. Got to talk to T-Flow and Jess and some of the other people who have hosted in the past and just say, what's up? How does this work? But this was kind of like our last standard episode, and Andrew and I were like, okay, what are we going to do here? Like, we gotta start throwing some spice in to see if things are going to work out. And so, Daddle came up with the contestant card thing, the contestant decision card, where after the date, the contestants write on the card, yes or no, or their answer to would they go on a second date. And then our secret ad, which was made known after the third date, which was a fourth contestant pulled from the crowd. Give her 5 minutes, see how she does. And boy, did she make the most of it. That was insane. We weren't sure how it was going to happen. Andrew and I talked about some of the logistics. I shot like a novel paragraph into the team group chat, and I was like, how's this going to work? Here's what we want to do. And then people started asking questions. There was a lot of confusion in the chats for quite some time, and then we figured it out. Because we always figure it out. We execute as best as we can. And I'm just stoked, man. That was just so sick. And I know there's a lot of confusion with having only the three contestants at the very end for the final pick and having Jewell off, out of the way, kind of off camera. And for her to come on scene from the crowd after being picked, I think that rocks entirely. And I support the decision to keep her off cam for that reason. Good stuff. Season 2, we tried a lot of different things. We implemented a lot of important things. Like, we didn't even have headphones to start the season. Like, to think about that not being in existence is hilarious. And then to have 100 plus attendances, basically from our first 100 plus attendance was Booty's episode on episode 3, and that just continued to rock basically for the rest of the season. I mean, that is just bananas numbers. We're doing numbies. And for it to kind of culminate here was just amazing. So let's take some call-ins, dude. I'm stoked, excited. Our first call-in today, Ellie. Excited to bring her on, see how she's doing. And, hopefully she joins. There she is. Yeah.
Declan.
Ellie, how are we?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Living the dream, dude. We got to start. How was your flight?
It was good. It was pretty uneventful, thankfully. No turbulence, had a window seat.
Good. And like it was on time. I think that was like my biggest concern. I was like hustling for a fourth contestant slash backup just in
Mm,
case you didn't show.
I know I was
Um,
scared with weather because it was raining both places, but we were
right.
good.
And I
Yeah.
also was like, you know, regardless, I need to roll out this pull a contestant from the crowd idea. And I was like, I need someone regardless, and we're gonna have to do it this episode because you were flying in, and
Right.
it worked out.
It did.
Um,
Everything was good.
so we watched the tape as a team, and I don't know if you've gotten your eyes on the tape, but I've never seen someone cheer so hard after not being picked as the second date.
I was wondering if that was my voice you could hear.
It seemed, I'm not going to say the date went poorly, but I could tell even on the date you were like, all right, I'm like finance broed out. Like I denied him on Hinge because I was worried about him being a finance bro. I'm now realizing that he is absolutely a finance bro, and I'm here to have a good time. And that was about at minute 130.
That happened real fast. He owned it. I feel like I could have shut up a little bit and let him talk a little more, but you know,
I think you did. I think you let him talk plenty. I don't think there
okay,
was any lack of talking from Riley's end.
that's fair. That's fair.
It's
But no, I
interesting to
was
think
just super
though.
happy, Declan, for Jewel. They hit it
Yes.
off.
So stoked for Jewell. I think like that was definitely the biggest takeaway of the entire show. That was like she ended up being like the perfect match
Yes.
ultimately. Because had she not been there, I feel like you would have been picked. You or Saskia, I feel like would have been picked just
Hmm.
because you guys had like the best conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it was probably a toss up. But for her to like just kind of show up for the first time, not even know really what was going on, obviously like we were fishing the entire like as everybody started to show up, we were just like fishing and asking each table like, hey, you interested in going on a date with
Hmm.
this hunk? And yeah, just the fact that she was like, oh yeah, I kind of vibe him out. And I would love to know like when she actually made the decision like I want to go on, because we had
Hmm.
like a little bit of strategy behind that, like at least let the first date go on so everyone listening can get a vibe for like what this guy's all about.
Yeah,
And I feel
completely.
like that's what she did because he was like heavy finance bro, like right away with the Excel stuff. And then that's was like her intro bit. So it worked out great.
Yeah,
Um,
that was cute.
gosh, that's good fun. What did you have written on your contestant card?
I said yes.
Okay. All right.
W- Yes, I said yes. And I would have actually like enjoyed. I feel like it was hard to really get a sense for Riley in that setting. Like you can click with someone, but like to have a more meaningful conversation, I don't know. And that might have just been the headspace I was in at
Yeah,
the time. But
that's
yeah, I
totally
would have said
reasonable.
yes and seen how a second date went.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good attitude to have. It was funny because I saw someone in the Twitch chats was watching and was like friends with you, and she was like, rumor has it she's saying no, like be on the lookout. And I was like, no way.
Wait,
This
someone
makes
sent me a
sense.
screenshot of that. They're like, Ellie, I can't even remember. It had the little eye emoji. That's all I remember from it. But
Yep. Yeah. No, but like I don't know. I've always secretly like wanted it to happen just to see what would happen just cuz like
mhm,
I'm curious, but I think where your mindset sits is like exactly where it should be. Like, you know, you don't need necessarily it's hard. The stars either really have to align in the sense of like I really don't want to spend any more time than 10 minutes with this guy, or it's kind of like below that where it's like a little bit gray where it's like, you
right.
know, we were in front of 200 people, we were talking about things we didn't really want to talk about, or you know,
Mhm.
it takes more than 10 minutes sometimes I feel like to vibe out, but
Yeah,
regardless I respect the decision.
yeah, yeah. It's
So
good.
talk to me about I guess your like preparation going into this. Like I know we had talked on casting call, got it all squared away, um but like how did that all go for you, just like preparing for this thing, and then like expectations versus the reality of like when you finally went on the show, like how was the experience for you?
Um, I guess I didn't super know what to expect in terms of prep. this is embarrassing. This is what I did. Because I looked at the little Delta flight tracker
Yeah.
and it doesn't tell you the states. I think I cheated in geography. I had to look up a map of the US and
Nice.
like
That's good.
figure out what states I flew over. Um, as far as like where the conversation was gonna go, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
And my head, I don't know. I feel like I will just like randomly bring up topics I wasn't super concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
What we were gonna discuss, I knew I would fill 10 minutes.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like he seemed super genuine just from things I had heard and read about him, and he definitely fit that when I was talking with him.
Yes.
So as far as like how it was with Riley, that all matched what I expected.
That makes sense. So how do you do research on a guy, like going into this? Who are your sources? What's going on? Like, how does it work?
My sources were, I didn't follow him on Instagram, but looking at people I knew that did, and text said, what do you know about this guy?
I like that.
And so that was how I collected my intel. Also the date night, like the little write-up you guys had about him, just to like get a general sense of like what he likes to do.
Right. Yep.
He seems like outdoorsy, likes to golf and fish and
exactly. Well, cool. Yeah. Ellie, we would love to have you on the show at some point later. So we're obviously gonna have you on next week because we have old people on the show. I hope you show up to that episode. But in the fall, we should circle back. The board loved your performance, and we will be in touch. So I hope you have a good hot girl summer, and really let it loose. And we will see you soon. But thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely, I will be back gladly. Thank you, Declan.
Right on. All right, take care.
All right, take care. Bye.
See ya. All right, welcoming Jewell.
Hi.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. So, Jewell, my name's Declan. We never met before because you were obviously the fourth contestant pulled from the crowd, and we never had a casting call. But you are like a part of history on this show now all of a sudden. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very honored.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So first question I have to, I guess to introduce myself, I'm like one of the producers of the show. Andrew and myself like created it. I run all the matchmaking and the casting from Arizona because I work just out here for my job. So like I'm basically all remote, casting and producing everything on the back end, running this podcast specifically, and then Andrew does everything in person. But I want to hear like your experience, like when you got asked to be on the show, like why you were even there to begin with, like fill in some context for us as to like when you showed up and then when you went on the date.
Yeah. So I had found the Date Night podcast on Instagram, and I honestly can't tell you much more of like how I found it. I just was there one day. And it's right at First Draft, and I live in the North Loop in Minneapolis, so we go there all the time. And I have been wanting to go to the live taping of the podcast for a while, but I just like hadn't really actually gone through and done it. So last night was my first time ever going. And then I also ended up participating. So they were like walking around asking if people were single and to let them know if they wanted to hop up on there. And yeah, that's what I did. And the rest is history.
Sorry, I forgot to hit record. That is unreal. So obviously a dedicated follower of the show, it sounds like, just from finding us. But what did you get asked like after the first date, right when you showed up? Like, did you have a vibe of Riley at all before you kind of were like, I want to be on the show?
So I had watched like the first 2 dates, I think.
Wow. Okay.
And then I walked up there and I was like, hey, like if you don't have anybody for the fourth, like put me in there. And they didn't. So
that's unreal.
Yeah.
That's sick. Cause we were talking about like, hey, if we're gonna roll this out, we better have like people to choose from.
Yeah.
So like we were like, ask people as they walk in, like if they know Riley existing or if they had seen him online, we're already interested. Like we might get those people. but
Yeah.
we're like, we really got to hustle like once Riley actually starts talking, because that's when people are going to get a good impression of him and make an actual educated decision on whether or not this is a good idea. And I think honestly the first 2 dates were pretty rough, like just from the conversation. So in the back of my head when we were planning this, I'm like, I wonder who could like really pull this off. But you crushed, like going in with like the finance bro talk and the Excel bit. Like you wooed the guy in 5 minutes, and like there's got to be something to be said about that. So great work.
Thanks. I'm very proud of it. I've been telling everybody my jokes, so
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
phenomenal.
like, yeah, listen to this.
Yeah, how about this? Check out what I did on Wednesday.
I'm like, I had even more in the repertoire. No, just really
Right.
but yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, yeah, just congrats to you. Have you guys set up a second date yet?
It's being workshopped. It's in the works.
That's great. That's phenomenal. So I'm hitting record on my camera. I don't have a producer
You're
producing
okay.
my own show, so it's like I gotta always be moving.
Jack
But
of all trades. Yeah.
nothing in the works yet, or you said something in the works, or haven't been decided. Okay, cool.
We're
Nice.
workshopping.
Nice. No, I like that. What is where do you think you guys would like? What would you suggest to go on a second date? What are you thinking? What's like a good date in general for you?
Yeah, I like to. Well, and clearly I like to talk, but I also like to do things while we're talking. So activities. So I know there's a block party up where in my neighborhood this weekend and next weekend. So maybe I'll suggest that and we'll see.
I think that's a good start.
Yeah. Enjoy the great outdoors. It's finally getting warm.
Yeah, hopefully he can walk and talk at the same time. I know like men mostly struggle with that. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Not be a good multitasker. Yeah.
Make sure he's not chewing gum or doing like 3 things, heaven forbid. That
Recipe
would be
for disaster.
Right. Okay, so another quick question. What was the thing that like put you on to Riley where you're like, I want to take this opportunity?
I think it was just like he was pretty like personable. He was asking questions as well as giving pretty good answers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just like thought that was really awesome. So I was like, well, might as well get my shot in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I thought Riley had really good eye contact. I thought he was like, when I did a casting call with him, he's like, everyone like says I'm like a golden retriever, like I have golden retriever energy, and like I never heard that saying before. I actually used it for a different episode. Like, just was like, oh yeah, this would be good to like throw in as like what someone's looking for. But like when he actually came on and like when you see his mannerisms, like that video we just posted today, I was like, that is like him saying like crap. I thought that was just like so funny. Like no one says crap intentionally.
No.
And then he was like at the very end when you were like, sure thing, chicken, when he's like, all right. I was like, that is so like these weird things that he does. Like people must just get such a rise out of like his personality. I could tell.
Yeah. I like to say things for the reactions, and he gave me the reaction. So we're golden. Yeah.
I think
and
that
he
video
hasn't let me live down the chicken wing.
Right, exactly. I think it sounds like you have quite the dad joke repertoire, and I think Riley's really gonna enjoy that if things do come to fruition between you two. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so one other point. So like we had never done this like call up a person from the crowd to do a 4th date. That was like the first time we rolled that out, and we kept you in the crowd for like the final bit, and I think it looked great for like content purposes, like to see you like walk from the crowd up to like accept it. I loved that. But were you a little like taken back by this fact that like you weren't up there or anything like that, or was that like a good spot for you to be, you think?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't taken aback at all. I pretty much roll with the punches. I mean, the whole thing was just kind of like, okay, let's go. So I mean, with that aspect, I was just kind of like, okay, wherever you need me.
Right.
Definitely made my entrance, more dramatic, which was great for the people. But
All for the patrons.
All for the patrons.
Nice. Well, cool. All right. So I'll just wrapping up this podcast or this time here with I would love to know if you have any like recommendations for the show or things that you'd like to see implemented. Next week's our last episode. I hope you can make it. We're watching old people go on dates. I'm gonna host it. I'm pretty stoked. But is there any wrinkle that you think we should add to the show?
Honestly, not really. I gotta be honest, it was my first time seeing the show and then also like getting involved with the show all in one. So for me, I don't have anything else to like compare it to, but I think I'll let you know.
Sweet. Well, I really appreciate that, Jewell. You crushed. I'm excited for your guys' second date, and let us know how it goes.
Oh yeah, you guys will be the first to know.
All right, perfect. Very excited for that. Well, great. Thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Bye.
All right, welcoming in Katrina.
Hey, Sade.
Hey, what's up, Katrina? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Phenomenal. Living the dream. So question for you to start the show. What were you doing in the bathroom before you came up to see if you got picked for the show? Because everyone's watching the crowd cam, and like our entire team is just like scaling through all the people looking for you, and it was just the funniest thing to watch. And then finally, like, you came out, and like everyone's like, "Hey, get the hell over here."
I'm gonna say it was for dramatic effect and absolutely planned. Totally.
No, it wasn't.
Totally planned. Yes. No, I'm doing what girls do in bathrooms. Talk, shoot the shit, don't go outside, and then realize that someone ran in. They're like, they're looking for you, and then I sprinted.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know. I mean, I guess I should have known that that's what girls do in the bathroom. We'll make a note for that next time to make sure we have someone in the bathroom, like making sure.
Like a girls' room editor, and someone's just in there getting the tea.
Yeah. Or even better, what if we had a green room?
Ooh, yes, if possible.
If possible.
Hot last night, like,
dude, that's what I heard.
Temperature, I was dripping.
I had no idea. Like, I mean, I'm in Arizona. I'm like working this podcast, the back end, the Twitch stream, and like the casting, which reminds me, like, we never even really hopped on a casting call. I'm Declan. I'm one of the producers of the show. I don't know.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So yeah, Andrew told me that. He's like, the cameras are shutting off. Like, it's 200 degrees in here. Like, there's so many people. It's like, I love these new problems that we have because we're selling the show out every night. That's super cool. But okay, so talk to me like through your experience of like the date night podcast, because you were a crowd interview on like the third episode or something like that. I think, right?
Yeah.
And then now you are like one of the key members of the show on episode 9. So like, how bridge this gap for me? Like, this is impressive.
Oh my God, it's slight work, but I guess. So I went. It's like a friend of a friend of a friend knows one of you. If you know Logan.
Logan Patch.
No, I do know Patches. Logan Cohorst, Loco.
Oh, you know Loco. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so he's engaged to one of my friends, and so they
Loco's engaged.
Yeah, like,
wow,
married, like whole ass married.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, he's married or engaged right now?
They're getting married in October, I think.
Holy shit! I think the last time I talked to him, he didn't have a girlfriend. That's wild.
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah, no shit. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, continue.
I heard of it, and then on the third episode, I live in the area, so I was like, like, let me go swing by, see what it's about. I went to my friends. 2 of the contestants had showed up early, and they weren't sitting with anyone, so they looked really dressed up, and I was like, "Hey, are you going on the show?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "Are you with anyone?" She said, "No." I was like, "Sit at our table. You shouldn't be sitting by yourself." So Katie, as well as Cammie, sat down with us. We were all chatting, and Katie was kind of like, like, I don't. She had come by herself. She wasn't prepared that it was at a full ass bar. And so they asked me, they're like, "Hey, like, you've been talking to Katie for a bit. Do you want to be interviewed?" I was like, "I've done stand up a couple of times. Why not? This will be entertaining."
Oh, nice. Nice.
And then I just thought the whole concept is so fun. I think everyone's so linked up into their phones. This is like real human interaction that we don't get enough anymore. And I was like, I don't know, put myself out there. What do I have to lose?
Yeah, dude, I love that. That's a good point that I've never really heard before. It's like we try and like everyone who applies for the show or talks about it on the show is like the dating apps don't work. I hate Hinge, and it's like I get you. Like I hear like why you wouldn't want to find someone on like a contrived place where everyone's supposed to find someone. Like it makes kind of sense. Like people would much rather just meet someone anywhere else in the world. So it's kind of fun to like set the intention of the date night podcast and be like, hey, let's find love on a podcast. But yet like when people show up, I got to imagine like I've only actually been to one of the date nights once before we really started. Yeah. So like we came up with a concept in like November or no, like we started actually recording concepts for it November of 2020. And so I did like 5 in a row of just like random people going on dates for 40 minutes. And then like at the turn of the year, we came up with a new idea to do this. And then I came to the finale last year, and then I'll be coming next week for the finale this year and hosting the show. So I'm stoked.
Fun. Yeah, it's a great concept.
It's a great concept, but like you could probably attest to this more than me is where I was getting with this is like, even though like we're trying to have these 4 people, you know, find love on the show, like I feel like there's a lot of just stuff going on. There's love in the atmosphere of that place of just like people meeting each other. Like it seems like there's a lot more going on than just the show.
Absolutely. And it's electric. It's kind of indescribable. And I think I'm from the East Coast originally. And so people are really forward and direct. And then moving to the Midwest, people are a little bit more timid. I feel like guys don't approach women as much at bars, kind of generalizing, unfortunately. But I haven't really been proven wrong yet. But in this atmosphere, people just are like assuming everyone's roughly single. So I think that like fun baseline is like real life dating apps. So you can just chat anyone up because everyone that's there, I feel like is extroverted or knows an extrovert. So
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, because I'm not from Minnesota either. And so casting for the show, you can kind of tell like who kind of runs in what circle. And like, you know, I went to school at St. Thomas, which is a school in St. Paul. And like, lots of just like hometown friends. And like, that's kind of how you like find your way. But it's funny, like a lot of our friends and a lot of people are just like people who aren't from Minnesota. And so when we throw these events, like very similar people like yourself or Katie or even Camry, I guess she wasn't as connected in the cities. Like those are the kind of people that show up. So it's kind of cool to like get those transplant people sort of to a certain place where everyone can kind of get along. So I love the dynamic.
Exactly. And like Katie and I still talk, Cammy and I still talk, Saskia and I were talking yesterday. Like it's just a way to increase your network too. And I don't know, I just like it. It's good vibes. It's an excuse to drink on a Wednesday, which don't need an excuse, but makes it a fun atmosphere to do so.
Right. So knowing all of this, you know, you're obviously a seasoned vet. We'll call you an alumni at this point of the show. Like, do you have any wrinkles or things that you'd like to add to the shows or anything you'd like to modify, things you'd like to see improve, or always looking to try and like spice things up and get ready for season 3 in the fall? So is there anything there that you could provide for us or have any ideas?
I honestly think the host, T-Flow?
Yeah.
T-Flow, that's right. She does a really great job of, she doesn't interject, but she waits for there's a lull because, you know, it's difficult to have a natural conversation. I think if you have 2 good people, it'll vibe and it'll happen easily, but she kind of came in at the perfect time. And I thought it was really respectful that y'all, before we went up, kind of asked, like, is there any like hot topics you do not want to talk about? Anything like no fly zone. Really appreciate that. I think it just creates a really healthy level of boundaries for it because it is such a vulnerable experience. As much as I want to say, like, I wish you didn't have to line up, that's part of the drama and it makes it fun. It's just, you're up there and you're sweating and then you're like, oh, why is this happening? Why do I have to get picked? But you're also like, I want to win. And so it's this dynamic, but I just wish it happened more often. Honestly, it's so fun. Like when I heard that next week's the season finale, I was so bummed. I was like, I just want to keep like making this like a routine, and it'd be fun in summers to do like outdoor venues and just have randos walk up. I think that could be
cool. I know. There's like part of it is like we know that the ass end of the winter is like the worst time
Yeah.
So people aren't like traveling. They're not going to weddings. They're not going on their boats. They're doing all these. They're not really doing anything. So like, and bars are going to give us a Wednesday slot in the people doing nothing period. So like, that's why we always just like go for it because, and maximize these 10 weeks because it kind of we're kind of the bridge that gets you to this time where it's like, now it's like the sun's coming out, the greens are like the trees are green all of a sudden.
The depression is receding.
Yeah, we're just like fishing for invites on boats. You know, there's like all kinds of new things you can do, and so like we're truthfully just not trying to get in the way of that. But at the same time, like it's exhausting to put this whole thing together in like 10 weeks.
Yeah,
That's on you. Like
this is my first Minneapolis summer, so I'm ready.
Oh, you haven't like been to Minneapolis for the summer yet? Okay.
No, I lived here January through June 2020, and then I moved for my job, and then I got a full-time offer here and moved back here in October. So I never had the like boat experience, and I'm pumped for it. I think this is a great way to like kick off summer and just I don't know, I'm sending it. I'm like, whatever. We're just
Hot Girl Summer is in full steam ahead, like basically starting now. Started yesterday, who knows? But yeah, that's kind of like going to be our branding pitch as we close the season out is like, you know, have a nice Hot Girl Summer. We'll see you back, stay single, and stay interested in the show because we got things coming for season 3. So that's kind of the gist of where we're heading at this point, which is exciting.
Love it.
It's gonna be fun. So cool. Wrapping up here, just, you know, thanks for your 10 minutes. You've been absolutely killing it. You were a pleasure to have on the show. Is there anyone you would nominate for the show?
She's going to be annoyed that I'm doing this, but my friend Caitlin Blow, she's awesome. We just want to walk or walk together. She does not know I'm saying this, but I think she's great. She's a cherub. I'm a big fan of hers, and I feel like her or my friend Emily, I can't say her last name because I don't know it. I don't know how to say it. It's like Francic, but they're both really funny and fun.
Sweet. Well, if you could DM us them or just like their contacts or profiles, whatever, we will definitely hit them up and let us know you sent us their way. So appreciate it, Katrina. You're great. Awesome. Well, I will let you go. I'm sure I'll see you soon. And have a great Hot Girl Summer.
Appreciate it. Have a good summer.
All right, take care. All right. Welcoming Riley. There he is.
Hey, how's it going? Let's go, dude.
How are you, man?
Oh, fantastic as always. How are you?
Great, dude. You have just like the biggest smile on your face I've ever seen. So,
as always, man. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Are you wearing the same shirt you wore last night?
No, this is blue Lululemon shirt.
Okay.
Last night was not, but
last night was, I believe, a little bit more of a gray. So that is is on me for my eyes being not attentive as they should be.
You're all good, man.
I gotta say, like when the camera panned to you and you were in the middle of saying something serious and like your right arm was out, your arms look huge, dude. Like it was nuts. Like you were kind of reaching towards the camera, so you kind of had like the perfect angle of like your bicep, kind of. And
got it.
You got to watch the tape back. Like it's hard work pays off type moment. It's good stuff.
Oh, I'm watching it back. I think we're having a little watching party tomorrow night. Just embarrass the shit out of myself, but we'll have a good time.
Shit, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Well, dude, talk to me about your experience, man. I mean, it was a drama-ridden and whirlwind of a night, but talk me through it.
Yeah, man. No, dude, it was awesome. Honestly, the environment was just so electric. Like
insane. I heard it was nuts.
Dude. Oh my gosh. And like I had all my friends there to support, and I was like, dude, I can't believe they all showed up. Like so amazing that they showed up, which made it even better. And just the energy was flying high, and it was a good time. And all 4 dates were like fantastic, like so nice. Like nothing bad ever saying that. My little streak of like no bad dates continues.
Good. I know, I'm glad that was the case, because I thought each kind of date had their own bit of flair. You know, you guys you didn't really talk about the same thing over and over for the 3 dates, but okay, so we just to get this straight, we didn't tell you, right, that you had a fourth date? Like, it was a surprise to you just as much as it was everybody else?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were
No
like
idea.
debating on like, do we loop Riley in? Do we not? Like, we we're like, let's not tell him. Like, let's just let him stand there for a sec and surprise him.
God.
And so walk me through like that whole process of like, you think the 3 dates are over, you're like already trying to mull over your decision, and then all of a sudden we throw you a fourth contestant. Like, what's going through your head at that point?
Well, honestly, I was like, all right, I'm done. Now it's like I got to make a decision. Like, whoa, no, like stay there. We got another one coming up. So I'm like, all right, well, like, oh crap, man. Like, here we go. We're sitting back down, and I'm like, all right. Then they like pull someone random from the crowd, and it was all just kind of like, so it was a massive surprise, honestly. And she like came in just so much energy, killed it, which made it even like better. I was like, all right, you're already up here. You're like spontaneous as hell for coming up here,
right?
And you're high flying energy coming on in. Like, this couldn't have been better. Great choice from the crowd, and just a big surprise.
She listened. I just found out. We were just on the phone with her, and she said that she didn't make the decision to go up until after your second date.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So like we
exactly. So like we had people walking around like, hey, do you want to be on the show? Hey, do you want to be on the show? Like, what we're gonna call people up type of thing, and just said, if you are, after you listen, come find us and we will get you on. And so, she heard about it right when she showed up. It was obviously her first time, and then she got through 2 of the episodes, and then by the 3rd one, she came up to one of our bookers and was like, yo, I want to be on. So incredibly spontaneous. I thought she did a phenomenal job with, tapping into your finance bro energy. And that obviously fired you up. Would you say that finance bros get a good rap or a bad rap?
Dude, definitely a bad rap. I mean, 100% a bad rap. I mean, it's just like your Gucci. Yeah, I mean, you show up to work, you throw on your padded Gucci vest, and that's about it. It's just, and that's the rap you get, and you get the rap of kind of like a playboy type deal, and it's just like, we're not all like that. Sometimes we're just a bunch of nerds like myself and stuff. So,
Good. Yeah. Do you think you maybe left people with like, finance bros aren't that bad? Do you think that was maybe something that you did last night?
I hope so, and hopefully I changed Ellie's mind on that. That was by the way hilarious. She's like coming out strong. She's like, I like didn't like you on Hinge because you're a finance bro, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's like we're going there already. Yeah. And then I thought people had a good questions like, does it matter? And she's like, no. And I was kind of like, well,
okay, yeah, well, does it matter really? Who knows?
Yeah, no, but no, honestly, we get a bad rap, but you know what? Hopefully I change the pace of that. Let's see. We'll find out.
No, I think that's going to be the staple of your career, is redefining the brand of the finance bro. So that's super exciting, man. People were also kind of giving you shit, saying that you still actually use mouse and keyboard and you don't use hotkeys. Would you like to fight that?
Oh yeah, we're addressing the haters right now. I am solely only keyboard. I don't even touch the mouse anymore.
That's exciting.
So we're rolling. Oh yeah, that's the best.
Again, hard work pays off moment. That's very exciting to hear. So talk to me through your decision process. How did you get to Jewell?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, honestly, like I said, all 3 were just like so genuine and just like brought something different to the table. Each of them, like, Katrina just had an insane amount of energy, just super like outgoing and just very, extroverted. And Saskia was, also very just nice, just super nice, like funny, always smiling, like great looking. Ellie was just honest and she was also extremely genuine and nice too. And then, it just kind of, I was like, this is going to be a tough decision as it is. And then, Jewell came on at the end there and just kind of like came up with like, and just had a great conversation. And I was able to get everybody booing that she was a Benny, and she was sitting there laughing the whole time I was doing that. And I was like, okay, that's like a great sign in itself. But then, time came down, I sat and I was like talking around. I was like, gosh, I'm like really stuck with what to do here. Like, this is a tough one. And then I just kind of thought, I was like, all right, man, if I'm on a second date with somebody, like who's someone I know, I'm just going to sit and just be able to have a great conversation with and just talk with a ton. And, ultimately decided it was Jewell, and it was good. It was great content too. It was just the random from the crowd, unexpected, from left field. That was awesome, man.
Yeah.
So no, it was great time, great people, like, and have nothing but good things to say.
Dude, that's great. I kind of wish I was there now, just hearing like this whole thing go down, because like watching it on Twitch, you know, I'm obviously in Arizona right now, but just watching that whole sequence of events was hysterical. And I love the mindset though. Like, who am I really gonna have like the most fun, or who can I maximize my time with the most? And when you look at it like that, I think it actually makes your decision harder, because it's just like,
Oh yeah,
all four of those girls probably you would have had a hell of a time with in any
exactly
sort of
right.
scenario. So it's like, how do I pick one? I like
Yeah, that's what I
that
was
the
thinking
fact
too.
that she was a Benny was like actually a thing that was good for like for you. I think that actually made it great. And then I also love. Did you see the video we posted already with your final decision? Phenomenal. I just thought like that whole sequence of events where she like comes out of the crowd, sure thing, chicken wing, and then you just like lost it. Like, are you just like a big dad joke guy? Like, is that your thing? Like, it seems like you get pretty razzed up about it.
Oh, absolutely. And I saw the sure thing chicken wing and was like, oh, decision just that was just was like, let's get it. It rhymes. It's all bars. But then it was like, I saw that and I was like, okay, I'm like, that was a good decision. Like, that was just funny little punch at the end there, and a little jab extra, and that was awesome. No, it was a good ending to it for sure.
Cool. Right on, man. Well, in your position of power, I would love to know if you have anyone that you'd want to have on the show in the future.
Ooh.
So obviously next week is our last episode. Would love to see you there. Close it out with us strongly. I'll be hosting for the first time. Would love as many people in the crowd as possible for like losing their shit for some 50 somethings going on a date. I think that would just be trying to make this environment as electric as possible would be amazing.
Absolutely.
But anyways, continuing on into season 3 in the fall of this year, who do you think should be on the show, man?
That's a great question. I got a few people who I could throw up there. I'll give you a guy and a girl. The guy would be, his name is Miles Thomas. I can send you some of his, info or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the girl,
DM us these people, but yes, Miles
yeah,
Thomas.
yeah. Oh yeah. The girl would be Ellie Robinson. So she's an old coworker. Actually,
Okay.
she nominated me to go on the show initially. So now it's my turn to return the favor.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I love this, man. Well, that's phenomenal. Anything else you'd like to say to the patrons, man? Anything else you'd like to leave us with before we close out our conversation here?
That's good. Honestly, I had an amazing time, and want to thank the 4 girls that came up and just sent it, and literally just had a great time. It was just like, screw it, let's just do this, and super like amazing of them, honestly. And your crew, dude, your crew is amazing. You got like the best people working for you, the nicest people, always asking me like, is there anything I can do for you? Like all this stuff, like talking me through things, just make me feel comfortable. Amazing people. So overall, amazing experience. And like, honestly, if you're like listening to this and you're ever questioning going on it, just do it, because you don't want to be the guy or girl that says no to things. And also you're going to look back and be like, man, I wish I did it, because I'm through it and it was the best experience ever, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. So, dude,
love that. Well, thank you so much, brother. It'll be fun seeing you next week.
Absolutely, man.
In real life, and I'm excited to see where this goes, man. Let us know how the second take goes.
Will do, man. All right, rock on, brother.
All right, take care, man. Have a good night.
All right, take care. See ya.
See ya. La-di-da. That is a wrap, folks. That is the after show of season 2, episode 9. A little bit more on episode 10, just before we close out, because we're ending this season with a bang. I have dreamt about listening to a date between people of the older generation. Like, what do they talk about? Like, I have no idea what's about to unfold here. And I get a front row seat. I get to ask the questions. If I need to. Maybe they already vibe and I don't have to do anything. That would be awesome. I'm a little nervous. I don't think they have any idea the energy we're about to bring into this establishment next Wednesday. And what do you like? I mean, they're in their 50s, but like, are we allowed to call them old? Is that fine? Is it a little rude? Maybe. But it is what it is, man. It's the second stage of life. It's the second stage of life, and we're about to find love on the podcast with a new generation. The wiser generation, not the older generation necessarily. They are old, but they are more wise. And we're bringing that. And we're finishing off the season in this fashion. I'm stoked for it. I'm stoked. Queen Boo next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time at First Draft. We will see you all there. Let's legitimately pack the house. I want 200. We got to have 200. We'll make sure we have 300 headphones so everyone can listen. And let's finish off this season the right way. The right way. I'm excited. See you guys there. For now, take care.